Hello, my name is Lance Mountain. You might recognize me from the 401 videos. I'm usually not wearing a towel. I'm here to introduce to you the video, The Basics of Skateboarding. This video will consist of introducing you to skateboarding from pushing off, standing on your board, to the development of products, all the way up to some ramp riding and more advanced tricks. Just going through the steps of skateboarding, let you understand it and how it works better. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, this is Chad Muska. I'm here to show you the basics of a skateboard. Just the stuff you need to get set to get going. And first of all, you need a deck. It's right here, basic deck, Muska model. And trucks, regular trucks right here. Have bushings in there. It's trucks. Grip tape goes on the skateboard right here on the top. Put it on, cut little pictures in it, do whatever you want to do with it. Grip tape, wheels, and for the wheels you need bearings. These are bearings that actually go inside the wheel. Put it inside the wheel, they go on the truck right here with washers. And depends on how big your wheels are. You might want to use riser pads, just risers. Make sure they go underneath the truck and makes it for if you have bigger wheels so your wheels won't rub against the board. And you need to hold the trucks on. You need bolts, basic bolts. They come in all kinds of different sizes depending on if you have riser pads or not. You might need longer bolts, or if you have no riser pads, shorter ones. And basically these are all the parts you need to ride a skateboard to get it going. Put it all together, throw the grip on there, take it out, and shred it. Right on, folks. That's all.
Hello, my name is Mike Vallely, and you've got yourself a skateboard. That's good. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is turning. And I guess what's important is getting comfortable with just being on your skateboard, whether it's rolling around in your driveway or in front of your house or even just standing on it in your living room or whatever. But once you're out on the streets rolling around, you want to be able to turn right from the start. You don't want to be going in a straight line. Turning is a really important part of what you're going to be doing. So you want to get that taken care of right away. If you're not comfortable with your trucks really loose when you first start out, you might want to loosen them maybe a turn every day and gradually make them looser and looser so that you can turn, because that is important. Once you and your skateboard get well acquainted with each other and you can roll down the street pretty good, turn, maybe tic-tac, maybe spin a 360, there are further adventures for you and your new best friend. And if you want to go down that road, one of the first things you're going to need to know how to do is ollie. Ollies are the key to just about everything you're going to be doing on your skateboard. I recommend that you attempt your first ollies in a stationary position, which means you're not rolling. And the first thing you want to work out is your foot positioning. You want to take your front foot and move it back to the middle of your board and leave your back foot on the tail. And basically what you got to do is you got to push down on your tail and make your board rise up vertical. And as that's happening, you curl your front foot and you push it forward and you continue to bring your back leg up in a jumping position, sort of jumping. And you want to level that thing out and land it. And it looks a lot easier than it sounds. So it's really important to watch the video and just get a feel for what you're seeing. All right, once you got your basic ollie down and you can do it rolling, the next thing to move on to is 180 ollies. Front side 180 ollie, back side 180 ollie.
180 ollie is, well, it's obviously an ollie where you turn 180, either front side or back side. And when you do it, you'll ollie, and your upper body will begin to turn, and then your lower body and your board will follow.
A good thing to work on while you're practicing your ollies is ollieing up and down curbs. That way you'll be able to flow through your neighborhood. And once you can ollie up and down a curb, you're ready to start working on manual tricks, nose wheelies, things like that. A manual is an ollie on your back wheels, and a nose wheelie is a wheelie on your front wheels.
Before you start trying your manuals and nose wheelies up on benches and things like that, you should probably get it wired on the flat ground first, just doing a wheelie and doing a nose wheelie, and then take it up onto curbs and move up from there.
Hi, I'm Solomon Aga, and I'm here to tell you the difference between doing a nollie and going fakie. A nollie is basically when you're moving forward on your skateboard and you do your trick off the nose, and then when you're going fakie is when you do a trick moving backwards and doing the trick off your tail. You know, it's kind of weird that it's called regular and switch, because regular foot is actually a stance and goofy foot is a stance. So when you're skating goofy foot, that means you have your right foot forward. So switch to you would be skating with your left foot forward. And if you're regular foot, you got your left foot forward, and skating switch stance would be with your right foot forward if you're regular foot. So it's weird that it's called regular and switch, because like I said, regular foot is with the left foot forward and goofy foot is with the right foot forward. So whichever way you skate, the opposite way of the way that you normally skate is switch stance for you.
Yeah! What's the difference between these two boards?
Hello, my name's Paul Schmidt. We're here to talk about the history of the skateboard a little bit. Skateboarding started in the late 50s, early 60s. Classic story has people taking a roller skate, mounting it to a 2x4, and they used to use a box crate, and they've knocked the box off and they just started skateboarding. In the early 60s, here's an example of one of the first production skateboards. They started with steel wheels and moved on to clay wheels like this, a metal truck, a wood board. Moving on to the 70s, skateboarding went into an era where it had a urethane wheel, much smoother ride, ball bearings still, a metal truck, and a fiberglass skateboard. These are an example of what most people still think a skateboard is if they haven't skateboarded in the last 15 years. On to today. Here's your skateboard you're going to buy in a department store, sporting goods store, a place like that. Here's your pro-level skateboard you're going to buy in a skate shop. The difference here is you can buy this for 20 bucks, can't buy this for 20 bucks. The quality issue is the big thing here. This is a skateboard that's made out of who knows what kind of wood, whatever was available. There's no common consistency. This one has plastic trucks and plastic wheels. You can buy skateboards in those type of places that cost a little bit more, that are a little bit more quality. This is still a good board for butt boarding, or for your little brother or sister, or just your first skateboard. Hey, if you can afford one, it's better than not having a skateboard altogether. On to here, we got a pro-level skateboard of today. It's 7-ply hard maple, it's got aluminum trucks, and it's got urethane wheels and precision bearings. It's tough enough to stand up to the abuse of today's skateboarding.
How do you make a skateboard?
We're here to talk about how a quality skateboard is made. Quality skateboards are made with hard maple veneer. Hard maple veneer comes from the Great Lakes region in North America. This veneer is solid and strong. You can see we use a combination of grain going in the width and the length to make a quality skateboard. This veneer is then run through a glue machine and has glue applied to it, and then it's put in a press to be pressed. As you can see here, all these thousands of skateboards have been pressed and are ready to go on to shaping. In the shaping department, the skateboard is drilled, cut, shaped. The edges are routed round. The edges are then sanded round and smooth. The skateboard is sanded overall, and then it is painted. After painting, the skateboard is screen printed and then delivered onto the skate shop for you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Felix Arguelles. I'm going to try and help you guys learn rail slides. A little trick that helped me learn rail slides was ollieing onto something that's stationary, looking over the shoulder that I wanted to turn off of, turn in that direction, and keep my knees bent. As you graduate from your stationary stage, start on maybe a parking block or an obstacle a little bit higher than that, and you start to approach your obstacle on an angle, making it easier to slide off the end. And then from there, you start leaning back and balancing yourself further and sliding a little bit farther, and eventually you can slide the length of a whole obstacle or whatever you're looking to rail slide, maybe graduating to a handrail one day.
Hey, what's the difference between these two wheels?
Okay, I'm here to talk about the difference between big and small wheels. What we got here, obviously, is a big wheel. Big wheels usually used for ramp skating, vert, pools, or depending what area you live in. If you have a lot of rough concrete, cracks and stuff like that, you want to ride a big wheel. Usually they're a little heavier. That's why I'd recommend a smaller wheel, a little lighter. Better for street skating as long as the ground's pretty smooth and stuff. If you skate a lot of ledges, stuff like that, small wheel's good to go. Okay, there's a couple differences in width. Wider wheels tend to flat spot less because there's a larger surface area, so they don't heat up as quick. Also, wider wheels make your trucks turn a lot slower, a little more stable. Thinner wheels, they're a little lighter, flat spot easier. But if you like the squirreliness in your trucks, then narrow wheels are good. That's what I ride, narrow wheels. I like the squirrely feeling. Usually wheels are measured in millimeters. What you got here is probably like a 58 millimeter from the center out. Have a 52 millimeter here. Probably a 45 millimeter here. This is a little outdated. I don't know anyone that rides these things no more. Got a couple different durometers of wheel. The durometer is how hard the wheel is. Like a harder wheel has a 99 durometer, 100 durometer. Softer wheels have a 97, 96. So the lower the number, the softer the wheel. Softer wheels are usually for just cruising on your longboards or your just ghetto setup, filming boards, whatever. Harder wheels obviously are a little faster. As long as it's smooth and rougher areas, softer wheels are definitely the way to go. Vert skating and stuff like that, people usually like the hard wheels because they go a lot faster, hence go a little higher, all that stuff. That's about it.
Alright, hi. My name is Kareem Campbell. I'm explaining the kickflip. The kickflip is another variation of the ollie, except for you're flipping your board. You place your back foot in the center of your tail, and your front foot is in the middle, but a little bit more to your heel edge. That's where your toe placement is. When you go up for like a regular ollie, you press on the back and you lift up with the front, and you're just flicking your toes in your heel edge. That's what makes the board spin around. And then from there, you're just learning the process of landing, just like any other ollie. There's other variations of the kickflip. There's a frontside 180 flip, there's a backside 180 flip, and there's a 360 varial flip. The frontside 180 flip is like doing a frontside 180, but you're actually flipping the board. The backside 180 is the same procedure, but you're just going a backside 180 and you're flipping the board. 360 varial flip is a little more difficult because your body is staying in place, but the board is 360 shoving, and it's given a flip, so you're flicking it at the last moment. All right, that's it.
Hi, my name is Jeff Taylor, and I'm here to show you how to do a heel flip. A heel flip is basically the same thing as a kick flip, except for you're going to kick your front foot the opposite way. You're going to kick your front foot toward the toe side of your board. Okay, you're going to begin just like you're doing an ollie. When you start to ollie and you level out, push with your front foot, starting with your toes and following through with your heels to make the board flip. The board will rise up and level out on your feet and then land and ride away. A few times practice and then you'll be doing it down something like that.
So which truck's going to be best for me?
Hi, my name is Rodney Mullen, and I'll say something about trucks. First thing I look at when I put on a set of trucks is basically how high the truck is. I ride small wheels. I say anything less than 52s, you might want to look into. There's basically two heights, you know. The lower trucks. If you ride something bigger than that, go for a higher truck. And most of the truck companies have both to offer. Second thing to look for is widths. If you ride a big board, like if you ride an 8-inch board, you should probably get wider trucks, and Indy's always kind of been a standard for that. But ride a wider truck and your board won't feel as tipsy. You also kind of have a bigger target for grind stuff. But if you ride smaller boards like I do, a good thing about small trucks is they're always a little bit lighter, and they seem to have a quicker turn to it. Everything feels just nice and tight. So that's probably the first things I look for. Also the weight, of course, they all vary a little bit, but to me the lighter the better. Let's see. Another thing to pay attention to is bushing. Sometimes good trucks, you may like the way they turn and everything, but they come with bad bushings, so just change the bushings, because sometimes that'll make the difference between what you think was a bad truck from the beginning. Also, if you take the top off, make sure you get the bushings, you put them on like they were, because sometimes they mold to the form of the truck. If you put them on cockeyed, you look down and you realize your truck's angled a little bit. Well, I guess really in a nutshell, that's it.
Hello, this is Ed Templeton, here to explain grinds. Grinds are one of the most basic tricks in skateboarding. After you learn how to ollie, the next logical step is to take that ollie onto something else, you know, up something or to grind on something. And so grinding is the first stepping stone to learning all the other tricks that involve grinds, like nose grinds or 5-0s. 50-50 grinds are an easy trick to learn. You want to come up to the ledge or wall or curb that you want to 50-50 at a parallel angle, and ollie up to it and aim to land on your truck. So that's the only thing that separates a 50-50 from riding on top of something, is that you have to aim and land on your trucks. But a good way to start learning that trick is to ollie axle on stuff stationary to the height you want to do it, and that's the best starting block for that trick. I know you'd rather learn switch hard flips, but I'm here to explain feeble grinds. Big surprise, huh? You should approach the obstacle you wish to feeble grind on at a fairly good speed, because this trick drags a little bit more than a regular 50-50 or a board slide, because it's a combination of both your truck and your board sliding along the obstacle. So the easiest thing to learn this trick on is a double-sided curb or a bar, and it's much harder to do one on a ledge. You need to ollie, but not as high as you would for a regular 50-50, because you only need to get your back truck on basically and your board on. So you want to ollie and shift your board a little crooked, aiming kind of for your back truck, but you can be a little lazy with it, because you basically need to land on your board also. So it's kind of like you're going to board slide, but keeping your board parallel.
Hi, my name is Josh Friedberg, and I'm here to talk to you about how to do pop shove-its. You're going to want to put your front foot in ollie position. Put your back foot centered on your tail, but not all the way to the back. If you put your back foot all the way to the back of the tail, it'll make your board flip over when you push off to do the pop shove-it. After you get your feet set comes the most important part of the trick, the snap of the tail. For pop shove-its, you don't really use your front foot at all. It's all a back foot trick. For backside pop shove-its, you push down on your tail, and you kick your back foot behind you, which makes the board rotate 180 degrees, come up to your feet, you catch it, using your front foot's easiest, put both feet on, and ride away. Frontside pop shove-its are the same as backside, except that you kick your back foot forwards instead of backwards. That makes the board rotate the other way, come up to your feet, catch it, and land.
Hi, this is Queen, and today we're talking about pads. It's a good idea to wear pads because it prevents you from getting hurt. And when you start out skating, this is what you need to wear, protective gear. It's good for your health. Knee pads are for the knees, elbow pads for the elbows, helmets for your head. Wear them and don't get hurt.
Hi, my name is Neil Hendricks. We're here at the Birdhouse Private Vert Facility, and hopefully you guys have learned some stuff in the video and feel comfortable on your skateboard. And now we're going to learn the basics of skating transitions. Obviously, when you're learning how to skate ramps, the first thing you're going to want to do is just be able to feel comfortable pumping around on the transitions. And then the next big step is dropping in. A couple things you need to think about when you're learning how to drop in are keeping your legs bent and keeping your weight balanced over your skateboard, not too far back or too far forward. And some people find it easier grabbing their nose when they drop in. I don't do that, but might be easier to learn that way.
Okay, the first thing about skating a mini ramp is getting to know the transitions. So what you might want to do is start off at the flat bottom and just start pumping back and forth slowly. It's going to take a while to get used to like a mini ramp, so that's going to be like maybe a couple weeks. You'll just be doing that and just pumping up and getting to know the transitions. You just use your knees and to guide up the ramp, and then come back down. You start pumping. You use your upper body to gain speed and to go up and down. And then once you get past that, you can maybe start turning, doing kick turns. That's when you go up the ramp and do a 180-degree turn and come back down forward. And then once you just start doing that and get faster and better at that, you can move up to the lip and start doing like axle stalls. That's when you go up and get both trucks onto the piece of metal coping and then come back down. After that trick, you might want to do some rock and rolls. That's a trick where you go up and you put the top of your board over the lip of the ramp like that, and then turn it back in. Some more tricks to do when you start getting to the coping. You start getting to where you can do more tricks on the coping. You might want to start doing fakey rock and rolls. That's instead of turning it, like I said before, you just bring it up like that and then just come right back down backwards. Make sure you lean back so you don't shoot out. Make sure you learn the transition so you can come right back down. And then you'll be going backwards, so you can start learning these ones too right after that. As you go up backwards, and it's almost the same thing, but you lift the back, your back truck goes over the top, and then you just guide it back in. You lift the front of the nose so that the truck doesn't hit the coping. Lift it back in. Once you get the hang of that, it gets easy. And then you have a couple of more tricks you can just add onto the list from there. And then there's another trick that when you're rolling fakie is when you're rolling backwards towards the other side of the ramp. Instead of going up like a fakie hang up, if you want, you can just, before you hit the coping, lift your tail, and it'll go in like that, like a fakie tail stall. And then once you learn just the basic standing still, all the tricks, axle stalls, you can start getting more speed. You go at an angle and you can start doing them across the coping.
All right, we're going to be working on nose slides, tail slides, and pointer grinds, and hopefully I'm going to explain it so that you can understand it. So check this out.
Alright, with the nose slide, you're going to approach the obstacle that you're going to be doing it on pretty much parallel with it, and then you want to ollie just enough to get your nose onto it, because you don't really have to go that high, and just mostly get your nose on and put most of your weight on the nose so that you can push it. And then whether or not you want to come off forward or fakie is just up to you, and that's just the movement of your hips and your shoulders, you know, from the, you know, your right or your left. So I guess that's up to you. Alright, now with the tail slides, you want to approach the obstacle, ollie high enough to get your tail, you know, level with the bench or whatever obstacle it may be, and get up there, shift your weight about 90 degrees, you know, it's just like doing a 180 but just half of that, landing on your tail and sliding like the nose slide, keeping all your weight mostly on the tail, and then coming off, it's up to you whether or not you want to come out forward or fakie. It's just the shifting of the weight of your, you know, your shoulders and your hips, just like the nose slide. And you know, whether or not you go front side or back side, it depends. Back side, your back's towards the obstacle, and front side, you're facing it. So slide on. All right, now we have the pointer grind, or the crooked grind, whichever you want to call it. Or you can make up a name for it. Doesn't really matter. But approach the obstacle. You want to do a basic ollie. And you might want to ride up with a slight angle towards the obstacle. Do your ollie. Lean towards the front of your board, which is the nose, and land in the actual position, which is this. And with the grind, it usually might be a little harder to push, so you're going to want to be ready to put a little more weight on the nose. And you could push, you know, and then you just push it until you can, you know, you can't go any further. And if you have an end to come off of, you can usually just ride it off by just giving a little extra push as you go off to keep your board level. That way it doesn't tip over. And you might want to keep your weight centered after that, and just ride away. So grind your brains out.
Hi, this is Lance again. Hope you enjoyed the video, and just remember that skateboarding is all personal. Just watch the videos and watch people skateboarding, see how they do it, and remember that on this video most of the pros are doing things on stuff on a little bit higher than you're going to learn it on. So just take it easy, take it slow, learn it on something small, and just keep improving and enjoy yourself. Hope you liked the video. That's it for the Basics of Skateboarding. See you next time.